Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's Friday. We made it. It's the end of the week. Hope you have been having a good week. Day 2 of the cold. Feeling, I think, a little better today. I just need to really keep drugging myself with NyQuil and sleeping because my natural inclination is when I start to feel the least bit better, I stop resting as much as I should, and that's bad. So right after this, NyQuil, more bed, because more bed is more better when you're sick. And today's tea is just mint tea from Bigelow. Did not have the energy for fancy tea from David's today. Although honestly, the Candy King Crush would be perfect right now. Just didn't want to deal with it all today. So anyway, I hope you are having a better week than I have been having with my health. But, it's the start of the weekend. It's going to be good. Good weekend. Lots of good things planned. Sorry about that. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. What are your plans? Go ahead and chime in the comments. Let me know what you're going to be up to if you have something fun that you're going to be doing. I mean, we look forward to the weekend every week. So what do you typically like to do? How do you like to unwind? I'm genuinely curious. And remember, if this is your first time here and you chime in the comments, I can see them, and sometimes I'll bring them into the show. And if you do comment, let me know where in the world you are watching from, because I'm always interested to know where people are, to know more about where they are and where they live and how they live. It's fascinating to me. It's why I am starting to do this more instead of just making videos like I was doing, because this is the fun part. I love the back and forth. And I love the comments that people leave even on the replay videos of this. So thank you for joining me. And yeah, don't be shy. I don't bite, I promise. So yeah, one more day in the TARDIS robe, and hopefully I'll be back into fighting shape on Monday. I don't know why we say that. Most of us aren't training to be fighters, so I don't know where that saying comes from. I should look that up. Be interested to see that. So anyway, let's go ahead and just kind of dive on in to the stories for this week. The first one has a little bit of a personal connection for me, in that I actually visited the location that I'm going to be talking about. Although it was a long time ago. It was 1992? Is it 92? It might have been 92. So a lot has changed anyway. But there's even more changes in store for this particular place, so I'm really excited for that. Good morning, Tricia. Oh, I'm sorry, not Tricia. It's Sean. I'm out of it. Sorry, Sean. But Sean unwinds with movie viewing. I agree, that's a good thing to do. I don't know, lately my attention span hasn't been what it used to be, so sometimes it's harder for me to sit through a movie all at once. But that's okay. That's cool. I love watching movies. But yeah, so this location here, it's really cool. I'm a big fan of Well, I'll just tell you, it's the Hall of Gems. So the Hall of Gems is reopening this year at the Smithsonian, and they've been renovating for 3 years. And to be fair, it's a huge structure. We're talking 11,000 square feet that had to be renovated. Now, this picture you're looking at here isn't an actual picture. It's a conceptual rendering of what the new Hall of Gems and Minerals is going to look like. That purple amethyst geode in the center there, that is a real thing. Yeah, they have a large collection of geodes, gemstones. I think that's probably one of the two, quote, remarkable amethyst geodes that are among the world's largest on public display, end quote. And then you've got the 563 carat Star of India sapphire, which I would love to see, and the 632 carat Patricia emerald. Can you imagine what a 632 carat emerald looks like? That's crazy. They're going to have a lot of interactive displays, things that you can touch. They specifically say touchable specimens, so that's cool. It's just going to be, I mean, I love shiny things. I'm a raccoon. An exquisite amethyst geode from Uruguay, or geodes plural, that are as large as 12 feet and 9 feet. It's going to be great. So it's going to reopen in the fall of this year. The last time I was there, like I said, was in the early 90s. And I have a memory of seeing the Hope Diamond there. And I have a memory of being disappointed with how small it was. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous for me to say it was small. For a diamond, it was huge, and it was very beautiful. But I don't know, I was expecting it to be larger. Just like the Mona Lisa, when you go there to the Louvre, it's not a big painting. It's a lot smaller than you would think. So anyway, that's fun. And yeah, so if you're in DC in the fall, check it out. If you're a fan of gemology at all, I'm sure you're going to find a lot to be excited about there. Excuse me. So from the exquisite, amazing natural gemstone wonders of the earth to something far less exquisite and amazing, but still kind of interesting, Taco Bell. Taco Bell is really trying to get healthy. I don't know if they can pull it off, but they're going to try. So yeah, they are launching an all-vegetarian menu with 50 meat-free items. So this is not obviously replacing their regular menu. This is in addition to it. And 50 items is really, I mean, that's a good selection. So you can just use they're going to have these featured on in-store kiosks. The kiosks are going to be similar, I guess, to what McDonald's has in their quote-unquote restaurants. So you can just simply swipe a button to turn on veggie mode, and then you will only see the vegetarian options. So they have launched the vegetarian option before, but they've really expanded it. From Mona Lisa to Taco Bell, yeah, that's quite a segue, huh? So this is going to roll out on March 12th. They do caution on their website, though, that there could be the potential for some cross-contamination because of how small their kitchens are, and some things might be cooked on the same grill as other things. So I guess buyer beware. Really, I think if you're going to Taco Bell, you're not expecting a high level of standards. And don't get me wrong, Taco Bell is one of my favorite places to eat. Absolutely love it. It's cheap, and I appreciate that the flavors always taste the same. I mean, that's why we go to chain restaurants, chain fast food places, right? Because there's a certain flavor that's associated with them, and you know that that's what you're gonna get. I mean, when we get burgers from McDonald's, we're doing it because we want that McDonald's flavor. And we know that it doesn't matter which McDonald's we're going to, it's going to taste that way. It's going to taste the same. You go there for that consistency. And so if you're going to Taco Bell, you know what you're going to get. So maybe you don't have high expectations for them keeping their veggie meals and their regular meals completely separate in the prep area. Just saying. I'm going to try it. Why not? I'll try most things once. So let's move from Taco Bell to medical stories. And this definitely falls into the category of an inspiring story, and one that shows how some people just really do go above and beyond. What these guys in this next story did, I mean, they, Sean. Hashtag Taco Bell head. All right. Yep, I agree. So, in this next story, what these three guys did, three people, okay, their normal jobs are important and amazing anyway, and then they just raise the bar beyond what they do every day. And I'm excited to share this one with you. It's so basically what happened is an elderly gentleman broke his hip while doing yard work, and then after the helpful EMTs came and got him and took him to the hospital, they went back to his place and they finished his yard work. So these are from the Washington Post article. These are the pictures that were taken by their across the street neighbor. The man is Harold Storley, 88 years old. He was just out cutting his grass. He fell. He was unable to get up. He was there for hours before some kids were walking home from school and heard his cries for help. They called 911, and then the ambulance came and got him and took him to the hospital. So they're firefighter EMTs, and you would think, okay, that's a nice story in and of itself. But it gets even better because these three EMTs ended up finishing out their shift, and then they went back after their shift was over. They went back to Harold's house and finished doing his yard work. And apparently it was like a no-brainer for them. No one had any objections. Their supervisor didn't have any objections. And their lieutenant, their captain, everybody was 100% behind them doing this. So The three of them went back to the partially mowed lawn, spent about an hour mowing, sweeping, and tidying up because they knew the extent of his injuries and figured that was the least they could do. This is a great picture here of them mowing the lawn and kind of raking up around the front of the house. And Harold has been alone since his wife passed away, according to his grandson, Aiden. His grandmother passed away about 5 years ago, and so he's all alone, and the yard is just his thing. He loves that yard. It's a point of pride with him to keep the yard up and looking good. And so, again, the job that these EMTs do day in and day out anyway is amazing and necessary, and they do a great service every day that they're on shift. And for them to just take it up one notch, to just go that extra mile, they certainly didn't have to do that. That's not in an EMT's job description anywhere that I've ever seen. But so kudos to them, to everybody involved in that. I thought that was a particularly inspiring story today. I really, really loved it. I thought that's a good Friday story. Good morning, Tricia. I said good morning to Sean earlier in the broadcast thinking he was you. And yeah, that's what you get when you do a live stream while on cold medicine. Maybe not a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. I thought about it, but I would miss it. It would bug me all day if I hadn't spent this half hour with you guys. So Trisha's all, we look so much alike. Yeah. Okay. Funny. Could be twins. It happens all the time. Well, all right. So we're going to go from the sublime and inspirational to, for what many people might be, aspirational. There was a happy accident in a small town in Italy. It was a strange quirk of just the ideal set of circumstances happening one after the other that caused it to work out the way it did. But an entire neighborhood found that their water looked a little different for a while. And for some would-be connoisseurs of wine, I'm sure it was a fun surprise. So yeah, there was a spill that caused wine to flow through the village's pipes instead of water. So what had happened was there was a local winery, and they had what they're calling a technical fault that caused wine to leak from a silo into the water pipes. And that was probably bad enough, but the leak itself was highly pressurized, and enough so that it displaced all the water in the pipes. So the wine just entered the water supply and all the homes of the nearby residents. And we'll see if the video works here, because it's pretty fun. Imagine that. Imagine waking up and Lambrusco is pouring out of your taps. Now, the fun thing is that some of the more enterprising people thought to stick bottles underneath the taps. So they have some Lambrusco Grasparosa locally produced wine in their pipes now, or in bottles from their pipes. So yeah, it was a fun time in that village, I think, for a few hours, I'm sure. I love it. I absolutely love it. Never, I have been to Italy, that's right. And again, that was a long time ago. Again, back in the 90s. I seem to have done all my traveling in the 90s. Never had the good fortune to have Lambrusco just spilling out of my water taps, but, you know, had some fun times there anyway. So yeah, how would you react if you woke up one morning and suddenly wine was just spilling into your bathtub? Would you drink it? Would you scoop it out? Would you try to bottle it? Would you throw a bath bomb in it and just bathe in it? What would be your reaction? I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I do. I'd put a bottle under it. Okay. Anyway, moving on. The last story isn't really a story per se, but I do want to kind of call back to something I made, a comment I made in last week's show when I was growing up as a, as a child of the 70s. The toys were a little different. So in the segment that I'm now calling Toys by Darwin, I had one of these, and let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. It was a chemistry set, and this is it. This is the exact one that I had as a kid. It was the ChemCraft 1000 Project Science Lab, and this thing had it all. This was the exact one, and yep, those are all chemicals. And there was the scale and the real, alcohol burner, the wick, and all. I mean, this takes me back. All the stuff. I really wanted to be good at science, and I never was. Wanted to be. Maybe I just didn't apply myself enough. I don't know if, I mean, see, look at this. It was meant to be used, open flame for kids. You would never see this now. No way that this would ever be sold. I just can't imagine it. I don't know if this is still available on eBay, and I probably wouldn't buy it just because I wouldn't really do anything with it. It would just be for the purposes of nostalgia, but it was fun. It was definitely a different time to be alive, to be a kid. This looks totally safe. Was absolutely totally safe. You know what I actually ended up doing with it most of the time is making strange concoctions with different kinds of soda and juice. I would just, because I loved the way the colors looked in the test tubes, looked cool, so I would just mix stuff together, and then I would heat it up just to see how it would taste. And of course, it tasted awful, but I'm a kid, so what do I know? 8-year-olds don't have the best of palates usually. But yeah, it was fun. Good times. All kinds of good stuff back then. So that was neat. I wanted to share because I had mentioned it before in my show last week, and I thought, I wonder if anybody else remembers that. I wonder if anybody else that might end up watching this video at some point will look at that and say, oh yeah, I grew up with one of those. But yeah, gotta love Darwin toys. Excellent stuff. So, as far as the weekend goes, Sean, I know you mentioned that you were going to be watching movies. Trisha, what do you have planned for the weekend? Anything fun? I'm really just going to be sleeping. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself sleep. I'm going to take all of the sleep-inducing medications and just sleep. I have to make myself do that, otherwise I'm not going to get over this, and I need to get over this as quick as possible. I might read. That's the other thing. But that's even hard when you're sick. It's hard to concentrate. I mean, we've all been there, so. Frogs and Fairy Tales with Melvin tomorrow. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what Frogs and Fairy Tales are. Is that its own individual thing, or gardening and planting an olive tree? Wow. An olive tree. That's fun. Never would have thought to do that. But you guys are probably in the right climate to actually plant something like that. I don't know if we could have an olive tree in Nevada. I'm not sure if it would grow in our soil or not. I don't know. I'm not a gardener, which is weird because we had a garden when I was a kid. We actually grew our own vegetables. We had corn, we had tomatoes, we had carrots. We definitely had sunflowers. I remember the sunflowers. We actually had a garden in our backyard. And to me, I was a kid, but it seemed like it was a pretty big garden. I remember working out in there with my mom, but yeah, for some reason that just didn't stick with me. I don't know why. Okay, he will pet some reptiles and amphibians. Okay, that makes sense. Sunflowers grow very well there. Yeah, I remember them being particularly big. Uh, so yeah, whatever you are going to be doing out there in the big wide world from wherever you are watching from, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great weekend. If you have any questions for me at all, if there's some story ideas you might like to see me talk about, go ahead and leave them in the comments, either on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you happen to be watching from. If you've been having fun with these morning broadcasts, if you think it's a nice way to start your day out every morning, a positive, uplifting experience to counteract the negative news cycle that we're just hit over the head with every single day, then do me a favor. After the broadcast ends, this, of course, stays on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel as a broadcast. Share it with your friends. Tell them about the weird guy from Reno who likes to share fun, lighthearted stories to help people start their mornings off on a positive note. And that would be great. I'd appreciate that. If you want to support the show at all, help the show grow, you can find me over on Patreon. But there's some fun rewards set up over there for people who join up. I'm mostly doing this just because it's good for my mental health. So I appreciate all of you who are watching, and Trisha, thank you very much. I'm going to rest up. So yeah, happy Friday, and until next time, I'm Ken McKim. You take care, and remember, be kind to yourself and each other. Take care.